Okay, this is going to be a short video on how to do precinct walking. This is created for the Ron Paul meetup group for San Diego, California. First, I want to emphasize how important it is to do this precinct walking for Ron Paul. We're not getting the media coverage, and if we really want to live in a free society with sound money and that where our every action isn't controlled by the controllers from the gangsters on Wall Street all the way down to the local authorities that tell you what you have to put in your body and what you have to do with your money and et cetera, et cetera. If we want a free society, we have to get out there and do it because the corporate media is not going to do it for us. So precinct walking is the way to do it. And all we really need is one person out of 200, 300, 400, 500 people that live in a precinct to do this for us, and then we'd win all over the country because we'd just deliver the message of truth. It gets through. It's not getting through the media, and you all know that, so I'm not going to preach to the choir here anymore. This is not all that hard. We have materials prepared. We'll knock on doors. Knocking on doors, we know who we're going to be talking to. We're going to skip the doors where people aren't registered. And we'll knock on these doors and we see, hey, there's nonpartisan voters here. So we go, okay, and we knock on their door and say, hi, I'm Mike Benoit. I'm campaigning for Ron Paul today, and I just want to leave you some information. You can make it that simple, or you can engage them a little bit. Depends on how it's going. If you know they don't want to talk, then just let it go. If you say you're talking to a Democrat here and say, I notice that you're a Democrat, but lots of Democrats are like Ron Paul. We'd like you to just read the information here and consider. You'll run across people that do like Ron Paul. They're hot to help. You give them some material that you're carrying with you. Get their name and number. You should have it on the list. If not, get it. Get their email address. Invite them to join our meetup group, and we'll go from there. You're going to run across people who are going to ask you questions or will say things like, oh, I like Ron Paul except for his foreign policy. Well, you might say something to them like, well, Ron Paul's foreign policy is that we should declare wars before we do them. We shouldn't just go out there without any objectives in mind, and that we shouldn't be the policemen of the world paying for the protection of Japan and Germany when we're broke here at home. You can just leave it with that, and it's some food for thought. You don't have to get in a long thing with them. But then you're going to run across people who want to talk and talk and talk. You've got to find a way to politely excuse yourself and say, yeah, you got to go on down the list. You got a lot of these people to talk to today. All right, so then there'll be things that come up. Oh, I like Ron Paul, except, his stance on abortion. Well, you can kind of feel that that's probably a Democrat. And you just say, or it might be a nonpartisan. You just say, well, Ron Paul wants to leave that up to the states. That he's not going to. The federal government has no business on that, so he's not going to, stop people from getting an abortion in the federal government. So, or the economy. People will say, their biggest issue is the economy. Tell them how Ron Paul is going to help with that. Senior citizens. Ron Paul will be the best for senior citizens in protecting their Social Security check and the purchasing value of their dollar, because he's going to stop the Federal Reserve Bank from printing up money. So I'm going to make this short. It's not that hard. You're out there doing it. Like I said, you can just make it simple as just here's some information. You work with a partner. Join us. Join our meetup group if you're not already in it. 619-885-1378 is my phone number. And San Diego Ron Paul 2007.